Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We decided to ditch all of the normality tonight on our Tuesday tea night because I've been having so many conversations with so many of you. And I'm not going to lie, there's a little sense of freak out in the air. I have a theory behind that because anybody who is smart, anybody who's in a position of leadership, anybody who has some reports to read, you guys will be able to feel me in that there is a new wave of momentum coming. And I was lucky enough to create my business in the last momentum. And I'll tell you what, it's so much fucking easier to do it when there's momentum behind you. And I can feel it and I can see it in the reports that this next wave is coming. There's more and more people, there's more and more customers, there's more and more qualifiers, and it's not going back down. And that's why I'm like, you guys are in the right place, but I can see so many of you at the moment are thinking, oh my God, what's happening? Why is my business doing so well? Why am I getting, this feeling of wanting to get back involved and to get heavy and all this kind of stuff? And it's a little bit strange because some of you guys have done my training before. The upper limit. Has anybody had to deal with that? Does anybody know about it? No, it's an amazing thing. It's something that absolutely transformed my business. So it's a book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Absolutely amazing book. If you haven't read it and you have the time to put it on your list or to even listen to it in audible as you're driving or whatever, I would seriously recommend it. I thought I'd done a lot of personal development, but this book was literally life-changing for me. So what it talks about is that we have a level of comfortable. So we have a level in life that we can live in, that we can get to, I guess, turn up every day in. Now, for some of us, this level of comfortable is living on our ass. It's literally being so broke that we're used to it, that it has become comfortable. Now, if we think about this theory, his theory is that every time we go to move up to a next level, we're presented with challenges and we tend to self-sabotage because we want to keep ourselves in our comfort bubble, in where we're comfy. Now, the thing is for most of us, our where we're comfy was created in our childhood. It was created a very, very long time ago through a lot of conditioning and a lot of different kind of things that we were told and seen when we were younger. So, that's why a lot of us will end up in relationships like our parents. A lot of us will end up in careers like our parents, or will end up with traits like our parents because conditioning happens. We come in as this beautiful blank slate, and slowly but surely we get told all of these different ideas and we start to assume them as an identity. Now, for a lot of us, that creates what we call our bubble, where we're happy, where everything works. Now, who can actually, I guess, feel me on the fact that conditioning, life, society, they don't really encourage you to go and chase your dreams. In fact, if anything, they encourage you to sit down, be quiet, sit still, fit in your box, and you will survive. We even let's look at bullying in high school, right? So many of us can take it on back to the old high school days. You were so frightened to be different. Because what would happen if you were different? You'd be picked on. Who changes the world? Different people. Who creates finances beyond they can imagine? Different people. So society and our conditioning is actually working against us. And that's what the Big Leap tackles, because it says as long as you're aware of the conditions and the standards that are inside your life, you can always choose to go to a next level. Now, so many of us come into this business because we want next level. Yeah, we want that extra income, we want that extra growth, we want that extra freedom. So this to me was life-changing to wrap my head around, because I was somebody who was literally, you guys have heard my story, I was literally living in the red every week. I was terrified of going out to the mailbox because I knew there would be bills in there that I couldn't pay. And that was the standard that I'd set my life. that was where I was living. That was where I was turning up every day, and I got so damn used to it that was my bubble. Yeah, can anybody relate right now that their bubble probably isn't where they want to end up? Yeah, perfect. I love that. I love that. You know what? My bubble right now is pretty fun, but it's not where I want to end up either. I think that's the cool part of evolution and growth, is that we always want to try and go to next level. Now, the thing is though, how many people grew up or hearing you can't have everything, you can't have it all? Yeah, it's one of the biggest things, right? Why not? Who said that? Who made that rule up? And why did we carry it around with us for so long? Because nobody makes the rules except for us. But there is this innate belief in humans that we must sacrifice things to be happy. Now, this is what the Big Leap talks about. It talks about the fact that you write your own damn rules. You can write the leap to the next chapter, and you can be happy there. Okay, because if we look at it, we have this beautiful little part in our brain that is reptilian. It hasn't transformed, it hasn't evolved, it hasn't done anything in a very, very long time, since way back to when we used to cook on a fire and live in a cave. Now, that little part of our brain is designed to keep us safe. So it activates when we start to level up and we start to feel that our life is going next level. It activates. That's the little piece that can shit up our life really quickly, because it'll start saying, oh, you don't need to jump on training tonight. Oh, you know what? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Or that's okay. You know, this is shiny. This is good. I'm going to go over here. How many times in a relationship, now I can be really guilty of this one. Rob's really good at picking it out on me. When things are going really good, you almost fuck it up on purpose, because you're like, oh no, something's going to happen. Something has to fall in the ass pretty soon, because it can't go this good. Yeah, it's this stupid innate belief. And I'm telling you guys that I'm seeing it on a global scale right now, because so many of you guys who have been putting in so much work are starting to feel that that work is paying off. And I can see that on my end, because I can see the numbers growing. So what I wanted to do tonight was to bring you all close together and say, right now we have to make a pact and be prepared that we're going to ride this wave together, and that we're going to realize that we're capable and worthy of what's to come. Yeah, so I want to know, like, I know you're all sitting there, it's really late at night and you're all thinking, okay, another training, but I want you to know who's with me to ride this damn wave, like who is prepared to go next level and to shift on up and to do what needs to be done to get out of this bubble and into the next one. Now, I'm not going to promise you that the next bubble is going to be completely rosy. I love it. I love that a lot of hands are up. The next bubble is going to have its challenges. Every level has a devil, is what we get told as we progress up the leadership ranks in Juice Plus, and I believe that it's really true. But this bubble down here, it needs to go. We need to be okay with releasing it and letting it go, and we need to move on to the next one with excited love eyes. Proper love eyes, like big love hearts, like, yes, you come here and I'm ready for you. So tonight I wanted to tackle, obviously that book's great, because it's a book, right? And it breaks it all down into all different chapters, and it will actually show you ways that you self-sabotage. Is anybody ever guilty of things going really good in life and all of a sudden you get sick? Yeah? Or do you know of people who do that? One of the biggest ways of subconscious self-sabotage is illness. And I find that really interesting because that again shows the power of our mind, right? Because we can actually feel the excitement, we can feel the momentum. Oh shit, now I can't because I'm sick. So, oh, whoops, I'm just gonna have to slide on back into my comfy bubble. Yeah. Another one of the things is that we're really frightened of and will self-sabotage is because we're concerned that if we move up to this next bubble, this next level life, we're going to leave people we love behind. And they're going to feel hurt and they're not going to feel worthy enough to come with us. So we sacrifice ourselves and keep ourselves in this bubble. Of course, if you put some actual common sense in that and release all this reptilian brain, you'll understand that if you move up to here, it gives a perfect reason for these people to also jump up. But conditioning and a lifelong human existence often creates a very lack of common sense. So we have to be able to understand this psychology of why we do what we do. So I think that book is really important. I would definitely put it on your list of things to do. It's really easy to listen to as well because he's quite funny. He's got a real dry voice, but he actually is quite funny, so it's cool to listen to. But tonight I want to talk, and I've got my beautiful friend Ashi who's going to help lead us through. So I just wanted to reframe it. Tonight I'm going to be in my total spiritual realm. It's where I work the best. When you read the book, it tends to be my zone of genius. It's where I love and where I feel passionate and where I feel connected to. And by looking at what you guys are going through right now, I feel like you don't need boss bitch Katrina who's going to tell you what to do. You need somebody who's been through this, who has had to work through it, who has had to realize how much they fucked their own life up and take ownership and go, not this time. This time I'm going to work my way through it. And this time I'm going to get better. I'm going to have that life that I keep telling myself I want. Okay. Now, for me, one of the biggest ways to do that was to see myself as a multi-dimensional person. Because if I knew that I was self-sabotaging myself, have you guys heard my story around, so I'd done the big leap, but I didn't realize the correlation between this. And I went to UPW for my first time, and I'd been stuck at a wage inside this business for 12 months. So for 12 months, I'd been on the same income, pretty much give or take $600, which is ridiculous when you look at the amount of ways that we could get paid, right? That should fluctuate a hell of a lot more than $600. But I was absolutely stuck on that figure. And I went to UPW, and he took us back in a timeline therapy where we went through, and I got out a lot of crap that I'd been holding on to. And one of the biggest things that came up for me was that my father was my example of success. Growing up, I just adored him. I thought he was the most amazing leader. I loved watching him with his team and being able to create the success he did. And in my mind, he was success. Yeah. I then realized with the big leap that one of my biggest things is that I didn't want to outshine him. He was a god to me growing up. So who was I to be better? Who was I to earn more? You know what's really interesting? That dollar figure that I was stuck at subconsciously for 12 months was his damn income. I didn't know that, but something inside me did. Something inside me wasn't allowing me to take that next step because subconsciously my comfort was measuring my dad. So this is where I talk about, guys. So many times you think, you know what, I just suck at the business. I can't do it. I can't attract everything. I'm like, it's not you. It's psychology, man. We are so screwed up as a human race. Like, we are so screwed up. The only difference is between somebody who gets successful is they see the screw up and they go, you know what, I wonder how I can change that. Or I wonder how I can rewrite that story I'm telling myself. Or I wonder how I can pull that out and not make that real anymore. So, this is why I encourage you. And if you did the 21 days with me, this is why we had some things that were so far left, because I wanted you guys to see that all those little bits and pieces are actually really important. You can do the 5 high-paying activities. I try and say that and I stumble every single time. The 5 high-paying activities, time and time and time and time and time again. But if you're not aligned and you're not working on reprogramming yourself to actually accept that next level life, it's never going to come. And that is what's so frustrating to so many people. And what makes me as a mentor really sad, because I see so many people do the work and turn up and deserve it, but internally they haven't made the decision that they're worthy of success. And if they haven't made that decision, just like I hadn't even been aware that I was holding myself at that income, if they don't do that work, it's not going to come. Do you know what's cool though? That work may seem yucky and it may seem unnecessary and annoying, but it doesn't just unlock income. it unlocks a whole different level of abundance and life and amazing things. You know, absolutely amazing things. So if you don't have the relationship you want, if you know, and you could love your partner, but perhaps you want more passion, or you want, you know, more soulmate connection or something like that, personal development. If you don't have the career that you want, personal development. If you don't have the income that you want, personal development. I can promise you it is always going to pay off, because it will. It'll filter and ripple out through everything else. So when I was going through this, that was a really long-winded, like, woo. But anyway, when I was going through this, my biggest thing is that this little part of me is conditioned. But when I actually meditate, does anybody else meditate and it feels good? Has anybody got to that level yet? Yeah, when I meditate, I go somewhere different. I'm still Katrina, but I have this clarity and this peace. And that's what got me understanding that there's actually a version of me that knows better. There's a version of me that's stuck in this conditioning, and then there's a version of me that knows how ridiculous I'm being, can see exactly what I'm doing wrong. That's why I fell in love with meditation in the first place. And the hard part is a lot of the time people talk about meditation as mindfulness, shutting off your thoughts. But for me, it is a connection to a higher level of myself. It's going past that conditioning and it's actually reaching up. So if I was to draw it for you, because you guys know I'm so damn visual. Well, I normally am when I have a pen, but my kids come in the office all the damn time. Okay, so if I was to draw me, you guys can see this, right? Here's some hair for me so that I look kind of cool. Okay, here's me, right? Now, I feel like this right here is where we live every day. That's how close our energy is if we're not thinking about things, if we're not reflecting about things, if we're not doing personal development. This is how restricted we are. When we spend time growing, like who can relate to when you first came into this business and you started doing trainings and you just felt so alive because there was like this part of you that hadn't been tapped into before, that all of a sudden it's still you, but there's like this next level of energy on you. And this could be the same if you've done something that you're really passionate about. It could be, you know, perhaps you've done a retreat, you've started doing yoga, because I honestly think it has to be that connection to something bigger. Yeah. So this is when we start to tap into this layer. And this layer is cool because this layer is our potential growth. But what happens is a lot of us just go, wow, this is awesome. I'm going to build my business here because I feel good and things are going amazing. Then shit starts to slide backwards. What do? Straight back into here. Straight back into fear, scarcity mode, straight back into, oh, this isn't for me. Because as soon as we're challenged, we're gone back. We're back into the reptilian brain that says you should have stayed in your damn bubble. Now, what have you done? Okay? What I want you guys to do is to be aware and observe that there's levels to this. Because what will happen is you'll reach a promotion and you will reach this next level of awareness. And that's why I like that there's promotions in this business, because the promotions correlate to your growth. Yeah? Which is cool. So many people just see it as steps in a ladder. But to me, I see it as in, okay, well, Partner Plus, put yourself out there and find a couple of customers. When you do that, you've got a big energy, right? Then ask somebody to become a successful teamie and you've got senior partner. Your energy's gone even bigger. Now you've got a bigger responsibility. Then sales coordinator is duplicate that. Yeah, learn how to teach. Qualifying senior sales coordinator, do that on a bigger scale. Then we've got NMD. Do that on a massive scale and teach people how to do that. This is how your energy keeps going out. But I'm telling you, and this is why they're saying every level has a new devil, because every single time you open up that new cloud, that new bubble, that new zone, your upper limit problem is going to question whether you really need to be there. Because it's going to say, you know what, this is scary. This is opening us up to being the odd one out, the one bullied at high school, right? You're now the person standing up. And one of the biggest issues is that so many of us are frightened to be seen. So many of us. You know that there's gold inside you, and yet you hide it. Completely hide it. Yeah, that's what I want this training to end. I want you guys to understand that every cloud, every little bit of new energy gets to come out. Now, if we were to keep rolling up, let's just say this really big one here is once you've done a lot of growth, you've been able to create some really cool success. This one up here, right at the top of the highest energy, is what I like to call your higher self. Now, the crazy part about your higher self is that it is actually always connected. Ash is going to talk a little bit more about that in our meditation. But your higher self is always connected to you. There is always a version that you can tap into, regardless of how great you are at meditation, that can tell you if you're on the right track or not. Now, the sad part is that a lot of us have been conditioned to not respond to that, to not listen to it. Now, who can I guess relate to the fact of when you started this business, it felt good. Something felt right. Something clicked into space. Yeah, that's this little man. He's telling you, cool, good job. Then what happens? That's a different feeling, right? If you can take yourself back to that, can you remember that excited feeling? I like to think that I can almost feel it up here. Then what happens when your first customer cancels? You don't listen to this guy, do you? You listen to this one. You can feel it. You feel your belly drop. You feel that anxiety and you feel that stress. Where have you gone back to? Back to the black. Yeah? And then for a lot of people, they sit there. They sit there until something starts to win and then their energy stretches back out. But I want to show you guys the biggest shortcut to go from here to listening to this person straight away. And for me, it's just connecting back. It's connecting back, really recentering yourself, thinking about where are my thoughts, where am I feeling this? Because I can promise you if it feels shit, it's not coming from there. If it feels yuck or it feels dirty, it's not coming from there, it's coming from here. And again, nothing productive in your business is going to come from there. Okay, so we're going to do an exercise in the second half, but I'm going to get Ashy to do one of her beautiful meditations. Now, I know some of you are going to be thinking, oh my God, now it's time to go and get a coffee. No, I can't do this. This is not for me. But I really encourage you to do this because this is how you get to your next bubble. You do things that you're not used to. Okay, so I'm going to highlight Ashy and she's going to throw us through a really quick, beautiful meditation to center ourselves and to try and tap into old mate right up the top because you're going to need him in this or her in this next part of what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to pass it on over to Ashy and she's going to take us through a meditation. So feel free to get yourselves comfortable. You can turn off your video if you don't want anybody looking at your meditation face.
Perfect. So get nice and comfortable. I like to sit upright. Whenever you do meditation, it's nice to sit upright because you're opening your energy centers up. You're opening yourself up to receive. So when we're lying down, it's very easy to fall into that sleep state. And we don't want to fall into that sleep state when we do meditation because we're not sleeping, we're meditating. So we want to still stay aware and awake. We want to still be conscious but unconscious. We're in that limbo place. So sitting upright, nice and comfortable, wherever you are, closing down the eyes and just starting to connect. Just starting to connect with your breath first. So bring a couple of deep breaths into the belly. I like to start with the belly breath because it calms our nervous system into a parasympathetic state. And what that does is bring your nervous system into a rest and digest state rather than a fight or flight. It's going to calm your nervous system down It's going to stop injecting all the cortisol and stress hormones. So let's bring 3 deep belly breaths into the belly. Inflate your belly like a beautiful big balloon. And exhale, allow the belly to fall back to the spine. Beautiful. 2 more times. Inhale, inflate the belly like a beautiful big balloon. You can place your hands on your belly, pressing the belly against your hands. And 1 last breath. Just the belly, not the chest, just the belly. Beautiful. So release the hands from the belly and place the hands facing upwards to receive. So placing the hands just on the knees or on the legs to receive. So now just placing awareness on any parts of the body that you feel. Placing awareness on any sounds, any tension, any feelings or sensations. Now I want you to observe any thoughts that float by. Just observe. It's okay for thoughts to come and go. What matters most is that we sit back and observe. Now, what's beautiful and powerful is that when we observe, we become the observer of everything. We take back our power. So just observing your breath, now feeling where you feel the breath. Can you feel the breath as you inhale? Can you feel it come through your nostrils? Can you feel the warm and cool currents of your nostrils as you inhale and exhale? Now place the awareness at the top of your head, right at the top of your skull there. Visualize a beautiful purple light shining right at the top of your head there. This light gets brighter and brighter with every breath. Now bring this beautiful purple light down through the center of your brows, moving down to your cheekbones, down to your jaw, down your throat, the back of your neck, relaxing and releasing any tension here until this beautiful purple crystal light reaches your heart center. You feel this light expand as it reaches your heart center. You feel its warmth. You feel its light. You feel it expand your energy here in your heart center. Maybe you can see this beautiful purple light grow bigger and bigger as it expands outside your chest. As it grows bigger, maybe you see this light get bigger and bigger. You see it 1 meter away from you, 2 meters away from you. Really feel the expansiveness of your heart, of this guidance. Now allow yourself this presence to receive guidance. Ask yourself, the observer of the thoughts right now. May I receive strength. May I receive guidance. May I always connect to my power. Move that beautiful light all the way down through your chest, down to the part just in between the heart and your belly button. Just in the middle of your belly. Now you see this purple light turn into a beautiful golden light. Allow that light to expand as you connect to your power here. Roll your shoulders back. Open your heart and step into your strength. Ask yourself, what is my strengths? How can I show up with more power, more strength? Tap into that essence of you and allow yourself to feel just how expansive you are, just how beautiful you are. Say to yourself here, I am worthy. I am ready to receive. I am worthy. I am ready to receive. Moving down to the base of your spine, you now see roots connecting you like a tree to the base of a tree. Now just allow yourself to connect to the earth as the top of your head still has this golden, beautiful purple light shining at the top of your head, while the base of your spine has grown roots connecting you deep into the earth. You now feel completely connected to the earth and that inner essence inside, your higher power, your higher truth. Just take 2 more breaths here to really feel this place of connection. You are safe. You are powerful. You are worthy. You deserve this place on earth. You deserve miracles. Feel what that feels like in your body right now. Feel the sensations rushing through your body as you feel protected, as you feel guided. Bring a smile to your face and take 1 more deep breath in. Allow that breath to come from the tree roots of the earth, all the way up through the spine, through the chest, all the way up through the throat, through the center of the brows, now out the top of your head. And your exhale flows back down the other way, all the way down to the center of the earth. 2 more breaths. Inhale from the earth, from the roots, up your spine, all the way up the stomach, past your chest, your heart, your throat, the center of your brows, all the way out to the top of your head, and it shoots out to the top of your head. That's it. And bring it back down. 1 more time. Inhale from the trees of the roots all the way up through your chest, your heart, your throat, the center of the brows as it shoots up the top of your head. Beautiful. And bring it in all the way from the top of your head, all the way through your body. Feel those sensations. Feel your body tingle and smile. Slowly, when you're ready, come back to your body. Come back to this moment. Come back to the sounds around you. Notice any sounds or sensations in your body. Visualize the room around you. And slowly, when you're ready, come back to your body, wiggling the fingers and the toes, bringing some movement back into the body. And opening your eyes when you're ready, feeling your heartbeat, and knowing that you are all worthy of greatness. Claim it and own it. I'll pass you back to Kat. Thank you.
I don't know how I'm meant to talk after that. I'm like all zoned out. That was absolutely beautiful. Oh, thank you, Ashy. Everybody else feel nice and rejuvenated now? You know that beautiful feeling that you're feeling right now, and you've only got to do a few really big, deep belly breaths to feel it. You just got out of the death zone. Yeah? You got out. Did you see how simple that was? Yeah, and you don't actually need some goddess walking you through a meditation to do it. You can just take a simple 5 minutes, connect, deep breath, and all of a sudden you're there. Now, this is probably going to be a little bit hard because some of you would have moved and done things during your meditation. But one of the biggest things I picked up is that as she asked us all to put our hands up on our laps or on our knees in order to receive. I want you guys to think, did you finish your meditation with your hands still up and open to receive? You did? It's perfect if you did, but there's going to be so much in your subconscious, and I'm only aware of it because it happens to me quite regularly, but it's almost like my black center goes, nope, hands over. You are not receiving this. And I think that that's a really funny thing because I'm having a battle right there in my meditation with my higher self that's going, Katrina, turn your hands over. We need you to receive this. Okay, so it's really interesting to know that even when you're aware and even when you have connections, you still can't rid yourself of that black box. It's always going to follow you around. The only thing that you can choose to do is not live there as often as possible. And the more you get addicted to living in these boxes, the more you will notice the second you enter the black box. And you go, you know what? No way, this is gross. You talk yourself out of it and you run back. Okay, but that does only come from practice. So now that we're beautiful and we're relaxed, I want you guys to grab out the notepad in front of you. Hopefully you've all got one. If you don't, take a second to run and grab a piece of paper and a pen, or a phone and your notes, but I'd rather a pen if you've got one. And I want you to think, right now, I'm going to start you off. And I'm going to start you off with the sentence that says, my higher self wants me to know that. My higher self wants me to know that. And then I want you to tune in to those orange boxes that you felt, not your little black box. And I want you to write a solid love felt right of what that higher self wants you to know. When you were following Ashi's guided meditation, what were the things that were coming up for you? Let me put on some thinking music. Do you know which one I'm going to go to? UPW. Denise will love this. So I want you to think there, guys. My higher self wants me to know that. Write it down. What does your higher self want you to know? Now, this is a safe space. I'm loving the people brave enough to share with us. But I want you to write a few paragraphs. I want you to allow that higher self space to really share with you what they want you to know. Ask your questions. My higher self wants me to know that. What does my higher self think about my goals? And I tell you what, you'll feel it. Listen to this. If it instantly comes down into here and you feel anxiety or you feel stressed, you feel that cortisol shooting out like Ashi said, you're in the wrong space. You're in fight or flight. We want to get back into the relaxed state of our orange boxes on the board, not our mental hole. I love some of these. Was anybody surprised by just how much faith your higher self had in you? Yeah, I think that's a big one for me. And who else would agree? I know you guys are probably still multitasking, but who else would agree that our business and our life in general would be a much more successful place if we tapped into that potential, that voice, rather than the anxiety and I guess the fear-based perception that comes with this conditioned box? Yeah, your business is going to grow much faster at a much more rapid pace. And when you are faced with challenges that make you want to jump back into your old comfortable bubble, the higher self will be the one that pulls you out of it. If you don't open up a space to listen to that voice, you're always going to be stuck in your shitstorm. Yeah. Now, if you look back on let's just say the last 18 months, I want you to get really honest. You can ask your higher self, but I can guarantee you're probably already there. Is there a theme to what's been happening in the last 18 months? I'm not going to pre-frame anything else. I just want you to think, is there a theme in your life that's been happening inside your current bubble in the last 18 months? Have a think about it. You can write it down if you like, because it might be something that you have to work on. Could it be a theme of being misunderstood? Could it be a theme of feeling hard done by? Could it be a theme of always just missing out? Could it be a theme of never quite feeling organized? What is some form of theme that's been happening in your life over the last 18 months that could contribute to perhaps you not moving up to the next level? Self-doubt, too comfortable, complacency. I love that. Ooh, you got a kick-ass higher self, Katie. And I agree with her. Not being honest with yourself, Deb. I love that theme. I love that because that's reflective on quite a few layers. And I think that's awesome. And when we're obviously not honest with ourselves, can you see how that correlates to this? Because if we're not honest to ourselves, who are we listening to? Just the shitstorm that's inside our current bubble. We're not listening to the guidance that's trying to come down by something that knows us better, our higher self, the clean slate that came in with us, the part that hasn't been conditioned and ruined and destroyed, the part that is still untapped and super, super powerful. Cool. So we've seen a few themes that are coming up. Now we've got some themes that are not so great. All right. I want you to rewrite that story. All right. So I'm just going to go back up here and I'm going to utilize Shirl's as an example. Sorry, Shirl, to point you out. But Shirl's here is that she's not confident in herself. So her current story, her current theme of her bubble is that she's not confident in herself. All right. Now, in order to open up the next bubble and be consciously able to receive it, we need to rewrite that story. We need to get rid of it. So if I was Shirl, I would write my new story to be, I am a kick-ass person who has so much to give the world. So I've taken my limiting story, my theme that has been playing over and over again in my current bubble, keeping me down in this level. and I'm rewriting it to create an empowering statement that is going to help me step up into my next life. That's going to step over my upper limit problems, out of my black box, and be able to receive some better stuff that's coming. So let's have a look. We were really, really quick to write in what's our current negative thing, which is great. I love the reflections, but I want to be able to see now, rewrite that story. Tell yourself something empowering that you're going to take with you into this next chapter. When this momentum comes, and I'm telling you, we're already probably knee deep in it, it's coming. When it comes, what is the story that I'm going to be saying to myself? So I'm damn surfing the wave next to my friends. I'm not stuck drowning because I'm holding on to this theme for dear life because I'm listening to my reptilian brain. How am I going to rewrite this, and how am I going to be ready to receive? Oh, I love that, Sarah. That is so vulnerable. I love it. I can't wait to see what you're going to rewrite here. Okay, because that can't come with us. Oh, no, bit of control freak coming out there, girlfriend. I love it because I've got one too. Yeah, so I want you to rewrite stories. Come on, I'm not seeing any rewriting of stories. Who's going to share with me? Oh, Denise, of course, my beautiful Denise. I love it. I'm no longer happy being comfortable. I want to grow, expand, and become abundant in all areas. Okay, I'm going to mess with this, Denise, because the way that you've done it is still future tense. Is that a word? You're the teacher, so you'll be able to correct me on that. Okay, but you need an empowering story that's living in the present. Yeah, so I am happy being extremely abundant. I am growing, I'm expanding, and I'm abundant in all areas of my life. I am limitless. If you keep saying things like, I will be limitless or I want to be, it's still next life. Do you get what I mean? You're still inside this bubble. Yeah? Sorry to point you out in there, but I figure if I help you with yours, there's going to be plenty more others. So Lani, same with you, darling. I have overcome my obstacles and I am the power. Yeah, we're already out of this bubble. We're taking this new story with us, and it's our ladder up and out. I love it. I'm glad you're excited. I am too. Absolutely, Sarah. And you know what? I would love you to put on the end of yours, Sarah, just the way I am because I'm beautiful. Or because I'm powerful. Don't limit yourself by just the way you are. I want you to actually highlight how powerful you are, how special you are. Yes, you're all of them. Absolutely. Oh, I love that. Perfect. These are awesome. Okay, now we've talked a little bit before in my trainings around, I'm loving these guys. Thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing them. They're amazing. Now, we've talked a little bit before about how we can get sidetracked in this business and think that the work is just the 5 high-paying activities. I did it without even stumbling. Okay, we can think that that's just the work, and we have a DMO that we tick off every day, and we talk about all the high achievers who are doing all this high-paying activity. One of the most highest-paying activities, not just in this business, but in life, every single time your bubble story, your current bubble story plays, you know, like, oh, I'm not organized, or oh, I just can't do this, I'm not confident enough, I'm not being respected enough. Every time that old story plays, you need to rewind the tape and play this new one in your head. You must hold yourself accountable for thinking something that's outdated. Yeah, this is the real work. The real work. The real work comes from going, oh shit, that's a gross thought. Why am I being so lazy? Yeah, I can think better than this. And putting that into play. And the crazy thing is that so many people who aren't living lives of their dreams will tell you that they're just thoughts. Do you know what? A thought promotes the exact same amount of emotional and chemical release as the actual activity. Did you guys know that? That's how we know that thoughts create our reality. I'm getting tired. My brain's shutting off. That's not a good story to take into my next bubble, is it? I need to rewrite it. So I want you guys to understand that that's the power. That's where it is. Exactly, Ashy. And that's going to be one of the biggest things. Okay, Ashley's put in here, for those of you who are watching the recording, catching ourselves without judgment and shame. Yeah? Because do you think we're living in orange or black if we catch ourselves and we beat ourselves up about it? Oh, fuck, I promised myself I wouldn't do this, and now I'm back here feeling angry and feeling like I'm not good enough. And which zone are we in? How do we reset that? Go and go and redo the beautiful meditation that Ashley took us in. Take a few big, deep breaths. Yeah, turn off our fight or flight response by focusing on our breath and relaxing our thoughts. Yeah, and being able to catch ourselves and go, you know what, you're better than that. We're not doing this anymore. We're not staying here. We're moving up to next level. Because I can promise you guys, and this is off topic and it's something across every level of your life, if you don't love and accept yourself, nobody else in your life truly will. It has to come inside first. You can still have good people in your life, but I can promise you that there's a different level of life that comes when you truly accept, love, and look at yourself without judgment. Yeah? So I know, like, that's work for all of us, right? There's no one in here that gets out of that scot-free. We're all pretty messed up. And I love that so many of you guys are saying, oh my God, I've got so much work to do. Oh my God. That's being alive. It's not working. It's not working 9 to 5. That's not being alive. Being alive is doing this stuff so that you can tap into the next level of yourself and create that next level life. All right? Because we're called Team Love for a reason. And I truly do believe it's because through love, through tapping in, through actually removing ourselves from the chaos of the how to, what's this, get your DMO, all that stuff, it only gets you so far. It only gets you so far, guys. I love the work, and you guys, you can get me on training and I will tell you the ins and outs of verbiage, and I will tell you how to record, who you're talking to and where to find them. But I truly do believe that the basis of how to move forward, particularly if you've been stuck at a promotion for a very long time, you're stuck in your bubble, man. Yeah. You can try and hard work that out, but it's not going to be as effortless and as easy if you were to just do the other work. The what shitty stories am I telling myself? What ugly themes keep playing in my life? And how can I take ownership of that and rewrite something more healthy? How can I get out of my black box? And how can I tap into something that feels better? Is it easy? No. Sorry, it's not easy, but it is so worth it. So worth it. And I tell you that as somebody who truly feels that I've only tapped into 30% of what I can create. And I know that just that 30% is pretty amazing. So let's all imagine when we're here in 5 years' time and we're all up to about 50%. What's life going to look like? How are we going to be living? What stories are we going to be telling ourselves then? What stories are we going to be helping our team with? Yeah, because we'll be in a totally different level then of contribution. We'll be turning around and have people to give back to. Okay? Anyway, that's me for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, I love and appreciate you guys. I think you're amazing. And I am so damn excited for this next wave and this next momentum. And I hope now you guys have a few extra tools to be able to ride that wave like Kelly Slater, right? We're just going to go for it. We're going to go all out. So thanks, guys. Have a good night. And let's smash the end of the month out and leave all those shitty stories behind. Bye.